All right, I will call this meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Approval of the minutes from February 10th. You guys have a chance to look at those?
I move to approve.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes on the February 10th board meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Next, the approval of the general fund vouchers 77615 through 77708 and wire transfers 192-00365 through 192-00421.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to approve the fund vouchers and wire transfers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Next, public comments on the agenda. Anyone? Okay, next, spotlight on education. Individual state wrestling participants.
Okay, we're gonna table that one till next board meeting.
Okay.
We had 4 guys qualify for the state tournament. One ended up on the podium with a 4th place, and we'll bring those kids in and be recognized along with Coach Paulson.
Nice. All right, new business. Approval of the 2020-2021 CISA 11 shared services contract.
Doesn't that look weird? The 2020,
It does.
2021?
A lot of 20s.
All right, so that's our CISA 11. So you guys have probably heard a lot about CISA 11. There's 12 CISAs broken in by region. We're part of CISA 11, and they just offer a lot of support through the for our district. So that what I have is the contract. So if you look, it's this except black and white with the X's in it. So everything that has an X through it is what we've already been a part of. Everything with those little boxes are things that either we could purchase or drop. And there's no reason for any changes in my opinion. So I'd marked everything that we have. The one change that we do have is this year we had quite a few more days of consulting with our standards work. This year I put 1 day in there just because it's nice to have one as an option. The gal that we've been using for our standards work is retiring, and we're bringing her in again this next in-service to kind of do a little bit more work with that, but for the most part I think we'll be on our own with some of that. But at least we do have the flexibility if we want to do a half day or 2 half days or 1 full day with somebody from CISA, we can bring them in. So any questions? I also brought the catalog if you guys wanted to look at what the actual services are, or if you had any questions. No?
Anyone got any questions? I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
This has been properly moved and seconded to approve the CISA 11 contract. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes.
I can say too, just FYI, with a lot of the services that we receive, they're cheaper for us because of the consortium that we're in with CISA. I think the whole purpose of it is to help out kind of their small rural school districts. So
Is that pretty standard, like Clayton and everyone
Yeah.
else using something similar?
For the most part. I mean, there's a couple, our contracts are probably very, very similar. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 things that we have that they don't and vice versa.
Gotcha.
There's like 28 schools in the CISAs or something like that.
33 maybe, 34.
Right now?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
There's a bunch.
Oh, okay.
All right, next, consideration approval of substitute bus driver compensation.
Okay, so so it's my recommendation that we increase the substitute bus driver compensation. So right now we have, it's very difficult for the drivers to get subs. There's a shortage in drivers to begin with, and there's also a shortage in substitute drivers. So in the notes I gave you, the second bulleted item kind of gives you a breakdown of what that difference would be. Right now we pay, Greg, it's for the compensation for substitute drivers is $31 per trip. So it would be increasing, ballpark just a little bit over $10 a trip for the substitute drivers that come in. And I can't give you an exact figure on the regular route because each route's a little different. The mileage is factored into it as well, so it depends on how many miles they travel. That's factored in. So that's kind of the ballpark of kind of the range of what our regular routes get paid.
So what are you going to make it?
To match the recommendation
Whatever
is
road it is.
Yep, is to match the regular route.
Gotcha.
We increased it 2 or 3 years ago, and honestly, just because right when I came in, it was one of those topics that was brought to my attention right away. We increased it, I think it was 20%, and there was still some frustration, and I think it's for good reason. As far as I think this would be a fair. I guess the recommendation would be a fair change for those substitute drivers.
Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the substitute bus driver compensation. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business is consideration approval of 2020 summer school kitchen staff compensation.
Okay, so the recommendation for the so this year it's I guess every year it's a little unique depending on our numbers on our free and reduced population on whether or not we offer that summer school program. We've talked about it in the past where if we're at there's a certain threshold, and if you're over that, then the district, the DPI, you can offer your breakfast and lunch at no cost to the students and individuals in your community, and it's for a 5-year period. And we hit that threshold, and now we can offer that up, but then it's always difficult to ask those individuals on an inconsistent basis to work during the summer. Our Fund 50 is in a very good spot. I sat down with Mrs. Kobernick to discuss what our options would be if we could get creative. So I guess my recommendation to the board is that we increase the summer school kitchen staff compensation by $1 of what their current compensation is just for the summer period, those 15 days of employment, the 15 days of summer school. So that'd be my recommendation. So it's not a one set because everybody's a little bit different as far as what their salaries are.
I move to approve the extra $1 for the kitchen staff.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the $1 raise for the summer school kitchen staff. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Next item of business is consideration and approval of upgrading the district's HVAC system.
Okay, so we were going to have the individual from Train come in and answer some questions that you guys had. Mr. Osmond was out sick today. I had a meeting with the individual from Train, and I said, why don't we hold off till next board meeting so we can have Tom Osmond be a part of that conversation with them. But they did answer a lot of my questions as far as the costs. But I think let's hold off and table that until we can have Dave. He's agreed to come in for April, and then hopefully Tom won't be sick either.
Okay. Sounds good. Then the next item of business will be the review of the COVID-19 coronavirus planning.
Yeah, so the COVID-19. So we've been receiving, as you guys have seen in the news, there's constant information being released about the coronavirus and where it's at and how it's impacting the states. We've been receiving as an admin team information on a daily basis from DPI, from Polk County Health Service, who I've been very impressed with. They've been doing a nice job relaying all the information, and then from the CDC as well. So we wanted to be proactive. It was a recommendation from DPI too. We developed a committee, and I just wanted to share with you guys kind of what the plan for the district is and what we're going to do. So if you look at the page right before the stapled document, there's a packet that's stapled. Right before that, I'm sending this memo out to all families tomorrow. I wanted to hold off because of the basketball stuff. I didn't want it to be confusing with me sending multiple things out, and some we're closing school, and pretty soon by the end of the week we're closing. Someone's interpreting it as closing school because of the coronavirus, which isn't the case. So we're sending this out as a separate document. So we created a committee. This packet is kind of all of the procedures of what we would do in the event of a pandemic outbreak or the coronavirus. To be honest, a lot of this information is going to be, or a lot of these decisions, in my opinion, are going to be dictated from above, whether it's the Department of Public Instruction, from the CDC, or just the CDC, directly communicating with us. So I don't know. I feel like there's only so much you can do without that I feel like is going to be our decisions. But either way, we met as a committee. We have two committees that we've developed within these procedures. One is going to be our operations committee, and then on page 2 is the educational planning committee. We met with that committee and talked about what we wanted it to look like in the event that we close. If we have to close from 1 to 5 days, what are we doing? If we close from 6 days or more, what kind of things do we want in place to deliver some of that instruction and provide stuff at home. So we've started the process. We've also put some things in place in district. We talked to the custodial crew and have been doing some, for lack of better terms, they're like bombing the classrooms. We're also we purchased this gun that's specific for viruses and actually and coronavirus as well, but multiple influenza and those things. It kind of looks like a Star Wars trooper gun, to be honest, and it just mists everything in the room and kills everything in the room. So we've done some things internally as well, but like I said, we've met as a committee. The operations committee will be a committee that will determine how we will operate, and that's going to be, I don't want to say on the fly, but that'll be kind of dictated by how much and when we have to, if we had to close school, or if things were in place. Let's say we had 3 bus drivers with the virus, like a flu type virus. How would we operate on a partial day schedule? Would we do a half day schedule at the end of the day and run continually run routes? Kind of those type of conversations would be part of that committee. And like I said, the educational committee is how are we going to deliver instruction. So we did talk about, at the high school level, possibly creating Google Classrooms where families that have access to internet could access some of that information. Elementary level, probably sending packets home, mostly supplemental type, not delivering new instruction, obviously. And then pages 3 and 4 just kind of have some of the, kind of outline what those functions would look like and what everybody's roles are. Any questions with this? This is kind of one of those that we continue to get information and things are being communicated in the news. Mr. Gillis or Mr. Peterson, do you guys have anything to add to that? No?
It just does keep rolling in every day.
Yeah, let's just hope a month from now our conversation is this laissez-faire, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just done out of an abundance of caution, just preparing for possibilities.
Just to try to be proactive, but you really don't even know, what you're preparing for, if anything, of what it's going to bring, or if it'll just kind of pass on by. So.
Well, if anybody needs milk, I got that.
Whole milk.
Yeah, whole milk.
Only
Yeah,
that
but we
would kill
can't get out to go
coronavirus.
get it.
You can drive by. All right, any other questions on the coronavirus? All right, Next item of business then will be the approval of early college credit program applications.
Okay. So we have 5 applications. I put in there the application letters from each student. Recommendation of Mrs. Kaler, our counselor, is that all 5 be approved. Admin team supports these. And if you want to look through the specifics, I have the individual packets too if you need. We have, I think, 2 or 3 nursing, taking advantage of the nursing assistant programs. One is software integration, web technologies. Yep, and 3, and the last one is nursing as well. So.
Well, that's an easy one. Does anybody want to make an application?
I move to approve their college credit program application.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve our early college ed program applications. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. One question quick, I guess, is this rate gone up? We've never done 5 and a crack, have we?
Not since I've been here. We have not had 5 applications. 3 of them are for only 1 class, and then there's 2 kind of have the typical 3 classes with some backup plans. So
Right.
the 3 are just, I don't know if there's just an increase in the. We've seen a lot of nursing ones.
The CLSD program's really growing.
Yeah, so-
Lots of demand for those kids in nursing homes for help.
Yeah, and like I said, the 3 are just
What a
approved.
great way to get your foot in the door in a health career program.
Yeah,
Well, it's one way to get into nursing school.
Yep.
yeah. And we've seen too, one of these, I don't think the district is gonna have to cover the cost anyway, because I don't know if there's grants on the nursing side of thing, but we've seen a lot of these nursing home type facilities covering the costs on their end, so there's a push on their end to try to get some of these kids involved as well, which is it's a
Yeah.
great opportunity. So like I said, 3 of them are just for 1 class, and then 2 of them are our typical 3 courses approval.
We're good.
But either way, it's nice to see our kids are taking advantage of it.
Yeah, right on. Okay. The next item of business is the review of the upcoming election.
Okay, so put in the notes, the upcoming election is Tuesday, April 7th. And we just have the 2 individuals, Greg French and Skip Grosskreutz, on the upcoming ballot. Both running unopposed.
Well, remind your neighbors to go out and vote. And it's been a fine term for this board. See what happens after the election. Anything else on the election, Mr. Ernst?
Nope, just the canvassing committee, the next item.
Okay, canvassing committee timeline.
So that, the Friday after the election each year, past practice has been, that's when we meet as a canvassing committee. We plan to meet again at the, right after school on April 10th. I'm just looking for 1 representative from the board, and obviously Skip and Greg are unable to participate in that, so be left up for the 3 of you. And you guys don't have to decide today, but if you want to.
What time? Isn't that a holiday? It's Good Friday. April 10th.
Oh. Good talk.
There's no school.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you other
Yeah.
people
You could
Was
do
there a half
it
day
Wednesday, but
Wednesday?
you'd probably have to wait till later in the day to make sure I have all the stuff.
Yeah. So April 8th then. Not bad on that
And you
one.
could do it, I'll be here Thursday.
Josh is like, no, I don't want to be here Thursday. Don't want for that. Is there no school on Thursday?
Thursday at
No.
8:30.
Oh, So it's Wednesday.
So Wednesday, April 8th.
Is that a full day of school? Is that
It
half day?
takes 10 minutes usually to do. It's pretty quick to look at all of the things and cut them open. And
I'm close, so
Yeah.
if that works, I can come in.
okay,
Fine with that.
okay,
Ryan, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. Then the next time of business is the consideration of the April 13th Board of Education meeting.
so we don't have any school on the 13th. We discussed at the last board meeting, so just threw that out there for you guys to make a final decision. Do we want to move it to that Tuesday the 14th and hold the meeting?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Go for you guys.
Right answer.
Well done.
Same time?
Yeah.
I really like it. All right. The next time of business is the review of our school board policies.
Okay.
Looks like they're pretty short this week.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one is board policy 0144.3, conflict of interest. I'll let you guys read through it. Any questions on that one? Haven't really had too many of these spouses in the district. So good with that one?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one, policy 0144.2, board member ethics. This kind of lists out kind of ethics for board members. Questions? I can say the last, remember always that their first and greatest concern must be for the educational welfare of the students attending the public schools. I can say I've appreciated, and I know I think everybody can agree that the board meetings have been very student focused, and all the decisions that these have been making have been focused on students. So I know I appreciate that. So, any questions with that one? All good? Okay, so the next one I do have something to discuss. So compensation of the board, as you guys want to read through that one, and then I'll share with you what we have to decide on. question I have is at the annual meeting, it's been approved each year. I think last year there was an increase, it's $2,600 per year, but then the stipulation is that each board member's salary will be paid to individual board members only when they have participated in at least 2 WASB or Wisconsin Association of School Board workshops every year of their 3-year term. Is that something that we want actually into policy? Which would be that first sentence of the first paragraph. First paragraph is approved by the electors at the annual meeting. Board members shall receive an annual salary. We would strike that, or an amount for each board meeting. And then, so after that salary, after the word salary, we would put in a sentence similar to what was approved at the last annual meeting. Do you guys want that in the board policy?
Like it needs to be in the board policy, or like how do you enforce it?
Well, it's in the annual meeting each year. And to be honest, if you guys wanted to remove it immediately after an annual meeting, it wouldn't look good to probably the public, but you technically could remove it. And I think it's been a good thing. But
Are you fine with putting it in here?
I don't know if it's not necessary to do. I don't know why we would, because the public might not make that one of our contingencies to be paid someday. And the other thing is, if we do put it in there, then it's something that we're kind of obligated to do. But then, you start. Well, of course we are obligated already. But I would have, if we put it in here, then I'd be like, well, Josh, can you make it your response, or can we make it the superintendent's responsibility to bring people in and facilitate to make so we can get that done, rather than us being out seeking our own and doing our own, just throwing thoughts out there. Whatever you guys think.
Is somebody right now tracking that we do it? So if
we do
somebody-
track it.
Talk about it
asks-
at meetings.
Yeah, but I view it as internally, you guys would hold each other accountable. I'm not going to step in and say, because you look at what the compensation is, and I think that averages to about maybe a nickel an hour when it's all said and done. And everybody continues to do it, and but it is in the meeting. It is in the annual meeting minutes, so it is documented, and it's part of that.
Yeah, we used to have a police force that watched that, but we don't anymore.
Yeah.
Have we done anything as a group yet for
Last
this?
fall we
We
did
did
here.
last fall, we did that.
Yeah.
In Rice Lake.
So we're probably going to be seeking another one here.
Yeah,
to do.
and we.
On the calendar year, I guess. What year is it from the annual meeting? I don't know how they.
What's that?
Is it on a yearly thing? or is
From
it
August to August.
Okay, August to
Yeah.
August.
And then I think it was last year, maybe it was the year before, where we started doing the option of webinars too. I mean, the intent is to
Last
to
spring,
receive
CSIP or something.
information from WASB, and those are good, good resources. I also think, something that goes to an annual meeting. I mean, you're or not annual meeting, the state convention. You're there for 4 days. I mean, I would think that would,
Check.
yeah, equate to more than one 2-hour webinar or 2-hour meeting with WASB. But it's up to you guys. So.
I say if it's in the annual report, we're good.
You're good,
And
okay.
then we just kind of still self-monitor to make sure we really are doing that among ourselves.
Sounds good.
Do we have coming up something, or somebody coming in to visit with us, Josh, along the lines of referendum? Do we have anything?
We will.
Is that
yeah.
going to happen this before the end of the school year? do you
Yeah,
think?
I think she might even be coming in and talk about 2 different things. The teacher compensation stuff, I've been working with the same company. So that's Baird, but it would really be, it's the same type of thing in my opinion. They're just as well, if not way more well versed in that topic than WASB.
I would agree with that.
Because you guys won't need to go to the new board thing, but they also said in their latest newsletter that they're going to do one other training thing this spring, but haven't said what it is.
Yeah.
So,
And then they released, like I said, the webinars. Those tend to be pretty similar, from year to year, but still.
But even the convention, you can
look some of
Right,
those
they
up
haven't
too.
Yeah.
released those yet, but they should be
Yeah.
putting those speakers
Yeah.
on, yeah.
Okay, then we'll hold off from putting that language actually in
Can you
policy.
see that they do, Nate? Can you let me know?
You know exactly what this was. So like, get that, they won't stuff one.
Do we need
And
to,
then- Oh, go ahead.
are we supposed to pick either the annual salary or the amount fixed by the school board for each school board meeting that they attended? Or is that verbiage just not,
Well, it says or, so it could be either or, so that leaves it open for it to
In the
change
last
in the
paragraph.
future without us having to change a policy.
Yep.
okay.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, I would prefer, just from I think our end, district office not doing a per meeting, then it's like, you know, the peanut counter or bean counter, I guess I should say. I feel like if there's an issue with one board member not attending, then you guys would have that conversation, you know, with that individual, and we don't have that problem. So I like what we're doing now. But obviously it's up to you guys. All good with that one? Okay. And lastly is the policy 0143.1, public expression of board members. This just states that it's the board president or who he or she deems appropriate to be the official spokesperson for the board if there were an issue to go down. Or,
So should that read that the president functions as the official spokesperson for the board or who he wants to appoint?
we could certainly add that.
That probably should be in there.
I'll draft something up, then I'll let you guys look at it next meeting.
Just in case you're not around. Yeah.
Well, if it's not even me, but we get 3 years down the road and we've got it, you know,
Right, or
Public-
whoever is, if they're not here, we still need somebody.
somebody on the board might be more qualified to speak than others, and that would be an opportunity.
Yep.
You don't want me up there blabbing.
Go read from a script.
Okay, that's it for policies.
All right, then the next sections are superintendent notes.
Okay. Like my mom and parents said, it really is a great time to be a warrior. We've had a couple different pep assemblies, and moved away from just the sports pep assembly and really just moved in the direction of student success assemblies. And it's really neat to see everything that our kids are being recognized for and doing, from all of the great stuff in athletics to FCCLA competitions, FFA competitions, art competitions, to our straight A student recognitions. We've even, I feel like there's been a huge push for, our band, and how they've been performing. Mr. Van has been just doing an awesome job creating an environment that has been very fun for those kids. And just to give you an example, went in there the other day, because my daughter happened to be in there and I needed to talk to her, and he's having a grill out with grilled cheese, and he's got an apron on, and they're doing what he called a tailgate party before heading to one of the games. So really has done a nice job with the band and created a really neat environment down there. So like I said, it's been a lot of fun to be a part of, but a lot of great stuff with sports as well. But even to back up, we had the FCCLA regionals, which I was a judge for at UW Stout. We had very good participation. They came in and spoke here during CTE week, and one of our own students was a state officer, Samantha Kelly. Thank you. She did a really nice job down there, and all the kids that were, we have a couple kids on their board, I think it's called, that do a nice job presenting, and then the competitions they did very well. Then we had the individual state wrestling. Like I said, they'll hopefully be coming in next meeting. We had 4 kids down there qualify, and ended up with one with a 4th place. So we'll bring all 4 of those individuals in here to be recognized next month. Then we had Read Across America at the elementary building, which Mr. Peterson and the elementary staff did a fantastic job having a bunch of fun stuff, kind of like the high school's Spirit Week. except incorporated and focused around reading. So I know Mr. Peterson and I both went into the pre-K rooms, got to read to those kids, and that's a lot of fun. Usually you wind up leaving with ketchup or syrup on your pants, and you know, if you read to them after lunch anyway, or on a sleeve or something. But
one of the junior kindergartners was amazed to learn that I could read.
So very good, and a lot of fun things. A lot of people involved. Mr. Peterson helped me out, but as far as organizing like the variety show, Mrs. Anderson, Miss Meyer, Mrs. Millar, having all the different activities go on, during the week too. They had a little. I know Mrs. Gillick and a couple of the other teachers did a new word of the. What was it called? Word of the day
Vocabulary dress-up day.
Vocabulary dress-up day, which took a little while for my household to figure out what it exactly was, but I think everybody was in the same boat.
After the fact.
But it was neat to see a lot of the kids, with different words and just learning new words that were hanging around different people's necks. And I know not all of them, especially the younger kids, weren't really sure exactly what was going on at times. But I think in the long run, it was nice to see everybody involved in learning new words and a lot of reading taking place. And then ended the week with a variety show. Like I said, Miss Anderson put in a lot of time with the student council kids to facilitate that, and all the kids, had different things different talents that they put on, and then a huge participation with all the teachers and Mr. Peterson and myself with a spelling competition that was ultimately a lot of fun and razzing us a little bit with. It was a joke with what type of spelling. It was Dr. Seuss words that everybody had to spell, and a lot of participation. So a great week. So a lot of energy and
change or the.
So as the kids, they use the week to kick off their like a reading incentive. So the kids, as they read, like the little kids if they read a book, or the bigger kids if they read a chapter
for the month
in a book, for the month until we have an author coming to visit.
Yeah, they're stoked about that.
Yeah. In early April, and so they're just kind of having I wouldn't even say it's a contest, just incentive, and they're making changes.
Well, third grade's the highest according to my son.
Okay. And he wants to keep it that way. It sounds like.
Then other stuff going on. We had the ACT testing at the high school on the 3rd. The junior high crew went to the Badlands and did some tubing, and it just sounded like they had some snow, and it was a lot of puddles as well.
They got,
a lot of wet
they
kids.
got wet. Yeah.
But had a lot of fun, it sounded like. The boys, and then obviously the basketball stuff. The boys basketball, lost their last game, but they had a good run here the last couple home regional games, and then to end it in Chippewa Falls against McDonald, which they gave them a heck of a run and had a really good game till the end. And then the girls, obviously, they have been just really fun to watch, but I really can't stress this enough. They are a very talented group of girls, but they are more importantly just a really solid group of kind, great girls that don't have any issues ever in the building. I mean, they just really are very respectful. None of this winning has gone to any of their heads. They still walk around just like high school girls and really do a nice job. And but again, it's a great problem to have, but it's still a problem that they qualified for state, and we're in the same boat as we were with volleyball, where I sent the memo out this morning, letting all families know that we'll be closed on the 13th. It has nothing to do with the sports. It really is truly probably most tied to transportation and the ability to how many buses we have going, and then the turnaround time. Getting back late and then having to transport kids. That, along with the operating with so many staff connected to the players, and we just really couldn't. If we operated, it would just be really a makeshift day with very little going on, and I don't think it would be good or fair for anybody. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is a good problem to have, because it's a great way to celebrate. Go down to Green Bay and watch the girls participate in the state tournament. Wish them and Mr. Blanchard and the coaching staff the best of luck. I do feel like these girls are handling it extremely well. I know we kind of briefly talked about this before, but I feel, in my take on it, it just feels like they have the whole community on their shoulders, with some of these activities and events, and they handle it very well. So. Back up, still on the week of the 2nd, like I said, we had that pandemic committee on the 6th. And we talked about the girls and boys game this Saturday. Some upcoming things. Currently, we have parent-teacher conferences here at the high school going on tonight. And then the girls basketball tournament starts on Thursday the 12th, but for us it starts on the 13th, that Friday, which we won't have school, and we'll be sending the team down a little bit earlier than that. And the 16th we have junior high concert coming up, and then no school on the 20th, which I did want to mention. You know, some people had been asking if now that the boys are out, will we have school on the 20th? The 20th was just a no school date that was scheduled. It has no connection to the boys' state tournament. When we did do the scheduling, we did look at it and thought, oh, that might be a nice way in case they do qualify, then that day will just be off. Looking back on it, we maybe should have done the girls on the 13th, but is what it is. But either way, it's not a day that we are now going to have school. We had a slotted day for to have off in the month of March, and the 20th was the day that we picked. So there still is no school on the 20th. So a lot of fun things happening in the district right now.
Or the 27th, right?
That's in service.
That's in service
Yep.
for
so
students,
no
but
students.
teachers are here.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna have three. At least the students will have 3 Fridays off.
Hopefully have no snow days.
Yeah.
So
Don't-
with that, we are fine, right? We talked about this, but we're fine with minutes, and it's not adding any extra day come June.
No.
Taking.
Well, it'll be up to you guys, but right now we'll have counting the 13th. We'll have missed 2 days because we had 2 half days, and now before they used to count days, now it's actual minutes. So it's not even really 2 full days. You know, the 2 half days I have to look at what they actually are, but.
And state volleyball.
What's that?
And state volleyball.
Right.
Oh, and state. Yeah, I'm sorry, and state volleyball. So.
Just want it
There's-
on the record that we're okay.
Yeah.
So people know
Yeah.
that we're not adding an extra day at the end of the year.
Yep. After 2 days, though, then the board makes a decision. So you guys will make that decision. But as far as minutes go and DPI requirements, as of right now, we're okay. And we do live in northern Wisconsin, so there's still.
Snowy this month.
Yeah. So that's all I have for stuff that's happening, upcoming stuff.
Right on. Well, then the next item of business is the future agenda items.
Oh, I forgot to say one more thing.
Go ahead,
I think I had the memo that I sent to families. Like I said, Friday, March 13th were canceled. And then I threw the just the flyer that's going out to the parents this evening regarding the girls basketball team for you guys just to look at if you were interested as far as the fact sheet that's going to WIA pamphlets. So then that's it.
Okay, does anybody know of anything that they want to put on the future agenda? Okay, if there is, just let us know, and then the next item of business is, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. We are adjourned.